All right, this is my SWOT presentation for SpaceX, Space Exploration Technologies Corporation. It was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk with the long-term vision of exploring the depths of rocket space exploration and just kind of pioneering in that field. They had a lot of setbacks on the way long term, a lot of failures regarding launches and regulations, and then their first successful launch was in 2008, and then they launched what they now call Starlink, which is a satellite broadband uh, production, and that launched in 2019. So, starting with their strengths. First strength is technological leadership. So, a strategic plan from Q2 from SpaceX shows that, and they are an industry leader in reusable rocket technology. So, they have a method where they can reuse their launch technology, and that saves them a ton of overhead costs. Diversified capabilities and revenue. So Starlink, their satellite broadband company or aspect of their company, provides them a stable reoccurring revenue from satellite contracts, mostly with the government. Another strength is their rapid growth and valuation. So potential IPO could value SpaceX at $1 trillion, creating huge investor confidence, and that's per a Reuters study done on SpaceX. Now moving on to the weaknesses. So SpaceX has high R&D costs and funding pressure. So top-notch research and consulting study says that they have massive R&D costs spending, especially on ambitious projects like their Starship project. So basically, that their research is not really paying for itself in the long run when it comes to these big projects that they're doing, and they're losing money. They have dependence on major programs, so they heavily rely on government contracts, which can be subject to change, and then technical and developmental risks. So they have big projects like Starship that have technical challenges and setbacks that they're throwing a ton of money into, and they don't always pay themselves off. Now moving on to their opportunities, expanding space economy. So an opportunity they have here is to capitalize on the space industry and what space exploration can become, and then gain more contracts by gaining the confidence of investors like the government. Starlink growth. So they already have a pretty solid foundation of recurring revenue and stable income and stable contracts, good healthy relationships with the government when it comes to satellite broadband network. But they have huge potential to increase that and have a bigger market share. And then Moon and Mars missions. So they have NASA contracts, and they have contracts with other space exploration companies to help them in their investing, in their research, and in their production. And they have a lot of potential here to get deeper into deep space missions. So now moving on to their threats. So their first threat is the competition. Though that they're kind of a pioneer in this sphere of the industry, they still have competition because people are kind of coming after what they're doing and capitalizing on their failures and increasing and successes. So rival companies like I forgot what the name was, but there's rival companies that are investing in heavily investing in new space technology that is competition for them. Regulatory and political risks. So policies and contracts could impact their operations because they can change, or regulations can get more strict regarding what they're allowed to do, being a private company that works with the government. And then Starlink's market share. So although this is a big strength, it can also be a threat because they rely heavily on their market share when it comes to Starlink. Increased competition in satellite could reduce their market share by a lot, and that could be a big hit financially. So here's my overall SWOT and my recommendations to the investors and board of directors. So First, I would say leverage your reusability to maintain cost leadership. So continue aggressive investment in the reusable mechanisms of the launch system, maintaining that cost advantage that you have over your competition. Reduce key person risk by broadening leadership visibility. So basically, just increase the public presence of people like the senior executive and technical leaders behind the company, just beyond Elon Musk. So he's not just the face, and I think that will gain some confidence from consumers and investors. And then, for an investor standpoint, investors should buy and hold with a long-term growth perspective. Just because SpaceX has been around a little bit, they're almost still like a startup company in many ways. They're still exploring, they're still pioneering things, and this is definitely something that has a huge potential to be successful and have a big ROI, but I think it's a long-term investment for now, because it can be volatile when they're losing money and when they're jumping up and making successes, but I think long-term, it's a long-term growth investment.